Good evening and welcome to the Anth Predicts Election Night HQ on Election Night 2020. Tonight we have the incumbent Republican President Donald Trump going up against the Democratic nominee Vice President Joe Biden. Now we have some general election consensus polling. The Democratic nominee Joe Biden is tied with President Trump at 46%, Libertarian candidate Tulsi Gabbard at 6%, and Howie Hawkins, the Green Party nominee, has 2%. We have some predictions for how the night's going to go based off some major news networks. CNN has Joe Biden winning at 307 to President Trump's 231. MSNBC has Joe Biden winning 319 to President Trump's 219. And Fox News has Joe Biden winning at 278 to President Trump's 260. Now, it's time for the 7 p.m. poll closings. Out of the state of Georgia, it is too close to call. The state of Indiana and its 11 electoral votes go to President Trump. Kentucky and its 8 electoral votes go to President Trump. And South Carolina and its 9 go to President Trump. Vermont and its 3 electoral votes go to Joe Biden, the first state Joe Biden wins tonight. And Virginia's 13 electoral votes are currently too early to call. Even though President Trump is leading now, the Virginia northern suburbs have not come in yet, and once that happens, it is expected Virginia will go to Joe Biden. So currently, President Trump leads with 28 electoral votes to Joe Biden's 3. Now time for the 7:30 p.m. poll closings. The state of North Carolina, it is too close to call between President Trump and Joe Biden. Ohio and its 18 electoral votes, currently too early to call, President Trump in the lead. The state of West Virginia and its 5 electoral votes will go to President Trump. And with that, President Trump has 33 electoral votes to Joe Biden's 3. Now it's time for the 8 p.m. poll closings of all those states listed above. The biggest swing states of the states closing are Florida, Maine, New Hampshire, and Pennsylvania. Out of the state of Alabama, its 9 electoral votes go to President Trump. District of Columbia's 3 electoral votes go to Joe Biden. Delaware's 3, Joe Biden's home state, goes to Joe Biden. Florida and its 29 are too close to call right now. Illinois and its 20 electoral votes go to Joe Biden. Maine and 3 out of its 4, that's Maine at large and Maine's 1st district, go to Joe Biden. Maine's 2nd district goes to President Trump. Maryland and its 10 electoral votes go to Joe Biden. Massachusetts and its 11 electoral votes go to Joe Biden. Mississippi and its 6 electoral votes go to President Trump. Missouri and its 10 electoral votes go to President Trump. New Hampshire and its 4 are currently too close to call right now. New Jersey and its 14 electoral votes go to Joe Biden. Oklahoma and its 7 electoral votes go to President Trump. Pennsylvania and its 20 electoral votes currently too close to call. Rhode Island and its 4 go to Joe Biden. Tennessee and its 11 go to President Trump. And we have 2 state calls not made earlier that we can now characterize. The state of Georgia will be won by President Trump. President Trump will win Georgia's 16 electoral votes. And Joe Biden will win Virginia's 13 electoral votes. And with that, President Trump has a very narrow lead of 93 electoral votes to Joe Biden right behind him at 91. Now the 8:30 p.m. poll closings just out of the state of Arkansas. And President Trump wins Arkansas's 6 electoral votes. And with that, President Trump has 99 electoral votes to Joe Biden's 91. And now the 9 p.m. poll closings. Important swing states being Arizona, Colorado, Michigan, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. Arizona is currently too close to call. Colorado is also too close to call at the moment. Kansas and its 6 go to President Trump. Louisiana and its 8 electoral votes go to President Trump. Michigan is currently too close to call right now. Minnesota and its 10 surprisingly is too close to call. The Trump campaign making a late play in Minnesota. Nebraska and all 5 of its electoral votes go to President Trump, including the 2nd district, which has Omaha. New Mexico and its 5 electoral votes go to Joe Biden. North Dakota and its 3 electoral votes go to President Trump. South Dakota and its 3 go to President Trump as well. Texas and its 38 go to President Donald J. Trump. And Wisconsin and its 10 electoral votes, currently too close to call. And Wyoming and its 3 electoral votes go to President Trump. And now a call out of the state of Florida. Florida being called earlier tonight. Polls coming in fast with 97% of the vote in. President Trump has won the state of Florida. It has a big enough margin to avoid a recount. President Trump wins Florida. And with that, President Trump has 194 electoral votes to Joe Biden's 125. Now the 10 p.m. poll closings. Out of the state of Iowa, currently too close to call between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. The state of Montana and its 3 electoral votes go to President Trump. Nevada and its 6 electoral votes is currently too close to call. Utah and its 6 electoral votes go to President Trump. And we have a call out of the state of North Carolina. North Carolina's 15 electoral votes will go to President Trump. President Trump will win the state of North Carolina. Will win the state of North Carolina. We have 2 more state calls from Colorado and Ohio. Colorado and its 9 electoral votes will go to Joe Biden. There's an interesting Senate race going on that we're going to need to keep an eye on as well. Cory Gardner's up against John Hickenlooper in the Senate race tonight. And Ohio goes to President Trump. Remember, Tulsi Gabbard's taking a considerable amount of votes away from Joe Biden in some of these races. That's why you may see President Trump having a much bigger margin this time than in 2016. President Trump wins Ohio. And with that, President Trump has 236 electoral votes to Joe Biden's 134. Now it's time for the 11 p.m. poll closings. The state of California, the biggest prize of the night, 55 electoral votes go to Joe Biden. Hawaii and its 4 electoral votes go to Joe Biden. Idaho and its 4 go to President Trump. And Oregon and its 7 go to Joe Biden. And Washington and its 12 go to Joe Biden. State calls from earlier we can now make out of the state of Iowa. President Trump has won the state of Iowa and its 6 electoral votes. And Joe Biden has won the state of Nevada and its 6 electoral votes. And with that, President Trump now has 246 electoral votes. Joe Biden has 218. And we have a call out of the state of Wisconsin. President Trump has won the state of Wisconsin. President Trump has won it. Remember, this was kind of started the momentum back in 2016 of Trump going on a streak of winning states. President Trump has won the state of Wisconsin. And with that, President Trump 14 electoral votes away. He has 256 to Joe Biden's 218. We have a call out of the state of Arizona. Arizona will go to President Trump. Tulsi Gabbard playing spoiler potentially in Arizona. President Trump does have a very, very slim majority in the state of Arizona, but Tulsi Gabbard no doubt pulling votes away from Joe Biden. President Trump will win the state of Arizona when it's all said and done. And with that, President Trump is just 3 electoral votes away from being re-elected president at 267 to Joe Biden's 218. And the 1 a.m. poll closings out of the state of Alaska. Alaska and its 3 electoral votes will go to President Trump. That means President Trump is 270 to Joe Biden's 218. President Donald Trump has been re-elected the President of the United States. He'll serve another 4 years in his second term, and he will continue to be the 45th President of the United States of America. And now we have a poll closing call from the state, or we have a too close to call out of the state of Pennsylvania. We can now call it. Pennsylvania will narrowly go by 1% to President Trump. Tulsi Gabbard again playing spoiler in this race. And that will give President Trump 290 to Joe Biden's 218. And we have poll closings out of the states of Michigan, Minnesota, and New Hampshire. The state of Michigan, President Trump will win by 0.5%, 0.2% bigger margin than the last time. Again, Tulsi Gabbard and Howie Hawkins playing spoiler, giving President Trump the victory over Joe Biden. The state of Minnesota, 99% of the vote in, a 0.9% difference. President Trump will win the state of Minnesota. Once again, third-party candidates playing spoiler, giving President Trump the edge. President Trump will win in Minnesota. New Hampshire, no different. President Trump, very close margin, but due to the third-party candidates playing spoiler, President Trump will win New Hampshire's 4 electoral votes, the first time a Republican has carried it since George W. Bush. And with that, the final electoral map is President Trump at 320 to Joe Biden's 218. So now we do a little recap of what happened on the election night. President Trump won 32 states, Joe Biden won 18 states and the District of Columbia. Joe Biden won 218 electoral votes, and President Trump won 320. If this is a popular vote margin, I think Joe Biden will win about 47.8%. President Trump will win 48.4%. President Trump will technically get more votes, but that's only because Tulsi Gabbard will take a much bigger percentage of the vote than Gary Johnson did last time. And based off the electoral map in terms of the states won and how many electoral votes went to each candidate, Joe Biden won 40.5% of all electoral votes, and President Trump won 59.5% of all electoral votes. So thank you so much for watching the video. This is the first election night I've done, so please leave me some comments and feedback of what you think I can improve on, what you think I can do better of. This is very dry run of it. Hopefully I plan to make more and I'll get better over time, but again, this is just the first one I've done, so if you have any tips or any new animation tricks or stuff like that you recommend, or election nights, candidates I should do, it doesn't have to be Trump versus Democratic nominees. It could be past election nights. It could be whatever. It could be maybe president, senate, governor, everything, or just senate, governor, just president. Please let me know. I'd really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe for more content. I'd really appreciate you smashing that subscribe button and the bell icon as you see on the screen. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.